Witam serdecznie na naszym dzisiejszym spotkaniu. Święta zbliżają się wielkimi krokami, tak więc czas na bonusowy materiał, w którym zgromadziłem kilka bardzo istotnych i ważnych wypowiedzi dotyczących gorącego, wręcz rozgrzanego do czerwoności rynku, bo być może te informacje i te słowa, które padły podczas co po niektórych wypowiedzi umknęły Twojej uwadze, a w mojej opinii nie powinny umknąć, bo będą one kształtować nam sentyment na najbliższy okres czasu, bo już wcześniej udowodniły, że potrafią wpływać i to bardzo znacząco na to, co dzieje się na rynku. Tak więc zanim przejdę do tego, co tutaj zobaczysz, no to przede wszystkim, skoro jest to nasze spotkanie ostatnie przed świętami, to życzę wszystkim zgromadzonym wesołych świąt i dużo zdrowia, bo ono będzie tutaj najważniejsze. Dzisiejsze spotkanie będzie dotyczyć m.in. tego, co wydarzyło się na Bitcoinie. Bo wiemy, że tam mamy istne szaleństwo i ci wszyscy, którzy słuchają mnie od dawna, raczej byli na to przygotowani. W wakacje robiłem tego typu materiał. Być może miałeś przyjemność go obejrzeć, jak nie, to warto odnaleźć to nagranie, być może w prawym górnym rogu również je podlinkuję. Gdyż wiemy, że Trump miał bardzo, ale to bardzo ważne wystąpienie w Nashville w lipcu i ci wszyscy, którzy przede wszystkim uważnie słuchali tego, co ma Trump do powiedzenia, no to myślę, że byli bardzo zadowolonymi inwestorami, tym bardziej, że zwracałem na to uwagę i stąd oczywiście przygotowałem na ten temat materiał. A skoro to zrobiłem, no to znaczy, że raczej bez powodu tego nie robiłem i nie poświęcałem na to swojego prywatnego czasu. I popatrzmy, kiedy to nastąpiło. Tutaj mamy Bitcoina oczywiście w interwale tygodniowym, bo zaraz przejdziemy do wystąpień i popatrzmy, czy dało się na tym zarobić, czy też nie. To jest tygodniówka. My zejdźmy sobie na dniówkę, aby być bardziej precyzyjnym. Widzimy, że tutaj w tych dniach, to była dwudniowa konferencja, nastąpiło, można powiedzieć, szczyt sell the news, tych informacji i dosyć konkretne zejście korekcyjne. I to było ostatnie tak głębokie zejście korekcyjne przed tym, co już teraz jest historią. Bo wszyscy ci, którzy wyczekali ten moment, to od tego momentu załamania tego kursu, kiedy Bitcoin kosztował, można powiedzieć, w obecnej chwili śmieszną wartość, no bo widzimy, że to jest poziom 49 217 dolarów i chyba wszyscy byśmy chcieli zobaczyć tego typu poziom, no to od tamtego momentu do szczytu, czyli dosłownie te kilka miesięcy, urósł o prawie 120%. Czyli jednym słowem, to właśnie bardzo ważne wydarzenie, a raczej to, jak rynek zaczął odbierać słowa Trumpa i że nie zaczął traktować ich jako żart, spowodowały m.in. i wpłynęły oczywiście razem z cyklicznością na ten szaleńczy rajd, który teraz obserwujemy na Bitcoinie. Bo jak widzimy, szczyt był bardzo niedawno, bo szczyt na Bitcoinie osiągnięty był na poziomie 108 287 dolarów. Jest to wykres Bitcoina, który nam to właśnie bardzo ładnie obrazuje, 17 grudnia. Teraz mamy do czynienia z zejściem korekcyjnym, ale nie o rynku dzisiaj będę mówił, bo rynek to jest inny element tej całej układanki. Pamiętajmy, nikt nie wie na rynku, co się wydarzy, choćby nawet za sekundę, tak więc nie są to żadne porady. Sam każdy wyrobi sobie zdanie i opinię na temat tego, co tutaj będzie oczywiście się działo. To, co będziesz mógł obejrzeć w tym materiale, to przede wszystkim wystąpienie syna Trumpa, który jest bardzo, ale to bardzo mocno związany z rynkiem kryptowalut, poprzez oczywiście to, że również wciągnął w ten temat Trumpa. Ci wszyscy, którzy pamiętamy, a my pamiętamy to, jak Trump się odnosił do krypto podczas pozostałych wcześniejszych swoich lat, on nie był zwolennikiem krypto, powiedzmy sobie to wprost, potem zaczął się bawić rozwiązaniami takimi jak NFT i tak dalej, i tak dalej. Teraz w tej kampanii dostrzegł, że jednak to jest przyszłość i też wtórował mu w tym m.in. jego syn Eric. I warto posłuchać tego, w jaki sposób oni do tego się odnoszą, bo Trumpa wystąpienie mamy i możemy je obejrzeć, ale nie wiemy, jak to młodsze pokolenie na to się zapatruje, a w mojej opinii powiedział również bardzo, ale to bardzo ważne słowa i nie będę tutaj spoilerował, bo warto wysłuchać ten materiał. On będzie dłuższy, bo też mamy wystąpienia Trumpa z nowojorskiej giełdy, gdzie też padło kilka ciekawych słów z odwrotną wyrocznią na rynku giełdowym. Już myślę, że co po niektórzy się uśmiechną, bo wiedzą, o kogo chodzi, ale też będzie to miłe zaskoczenie, bo ten materiał będzie nam dawał taką fajną, świąteczną pigułkę tego, aby przygotować się na kolejne tygodnie oraz miesiące na rynku krypto. I kluczowe pytanie, jakie pada, to czy Bitcoin będzie kosztował $1 milion? Być może ktoś się będzie zastanawiał, dlaczego jakieś cyfrowe aktywo w ogóle ma kosztować $1 milion. Przecież to jest coś, co tak naprawdę nie powinno przedstawiać sobą żadnej wartości. A mi się wydaje, że to jest błędne pytanie, bo nie chodzi o to, że będziemy się zastanawiać, dlaczego Bitcoin ma kosztować $1 milion, a raczej powinniśmy zadawać sobie pytanie, kiedy Bitcoin będzie kosztował $1 milion, bo raczej to jest nieuniknione. Z tym wszystkim, co się dzieje wokół Bitcoina, tą całą nagonką i oczywiście wielkimi instytucjami finansowymi zaangażowanymi w to, aby kupować na potęgę Bitcoina, to jest tylko i wyłącznie kwestia czasu. Jak będzie? Czas pokaże. Ile lat będzie na to potrzeba? Ile dekad? Czy to będzie za naszego pokolenia, czy też nie? Tego nie wiemy, ale wiemy, że od obecnego kursu, no to delikatnie powyżej razy 10, to już widzieliśmy niejednokrotnie na rynku krypta różne dziwne cuda, tym bardziej, że jego podaż jest ograniczona, tak więc dopóki nie przejmą sieci, to myślę, że sytuacja może być tutaj bardzo, ale to bardzo ciekawa, tym bardziej właśnie warto zapoznać się z tym, co ma do powiedzenia syn Trumpa, bo pewnie on będzie kształtował i wpływał między innymi również na politykę i decyzje Trumpa, które będą już niedługo zapadać po jego inauguracji. Może to się wydawać, że zdarzy się to szybciej niż nam się wydaje. Tak więc już nie przedłużam. Jeszcze raz wszystkiego najlepszego na te święta. Warto sobie ze spokojem obejrzeć nawet kilka razy ten materiał, aby wyłapać te niuanse. Nie będę na nich zwracał uwagi, bo masz na to czas. Okres świąteczny możesz odtwarzać do dowoli, słuchać to wielokrotnie, bo w moim przekonaniu on przemyca tam kilka istotnych szczegółów, które rynek mógł pominąć. I myślę, że na pewno warto się z tym zapoznać. Pierw w skróconej wersji, potem oczywiście Trump, kilka jego wywiadów, kilka słów i na koniec cała wersja Erika z całym przemówieniem, tak więc naprawdę jest to nie lada gratka. Pozdrawiam, wszystkiego dobrego i słyszymy się już niedługo. Zapraszam na wystąpienia.
I believe in Bitcoin. I absolutely love Bitcoin. And I'm very proud that my father stood on stage in Nashville and he came out and said that he's going to be the Bitcoin president. He's going to be the crypto president. He's going to make America the crypto capital of the world. He's going to put in smart regulation. He's going to do all the right things. I really believe that this is the future of finance. And I can say with great pride that now that he's won, you're going to have the most pro-crypto president in the history of America. When I called my father last week at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday, does anybody know what happened that day? We hit 100,000. We hit 100,000. And a bunch of the people in this room were blowing me up. They were sending me tweets, and then I called my father up and I go, Pops, we just reached the moment that everybody was waiting for. Bitcoin hit 100,000. In true Trump fashion, about 15 seconds later, a tweet popped up. It was, Bitcoiners, congratulations, 100,000. You're welcome. Together, we are going to make America great again. Think about a president who isn't going to allow Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to be overregulated and stifled by high taxes. Somebody who will fight like hell against those institutions who have waged war on cryptocurrency. A person who pledged to add crypto to the United States Treasury. A person who pledged to make crypto tax-free. I mean, think about all these incredible things. A person who's pledged to fire Gary Gensler. Does anybody like Gary Gensler in here? Gary Gensler waged war against an industry that we all love, and everybody knows it. And instead, appoint Paul Atkins, who is an unbelievable ally to this incredible industry. I truly believe that this is the beginning of a financial revolution, not just in America, but truly around the world. As a guy who runs a big real estate company, I think about how I want to safeguard treasury in our company, how I want to invest, how I want to hedge risk, how I want to transfer funds, how I want to pay vendors, right? How I want to collect funds from tenants and people who pay rent and the people who stay at our hotels. It's a shift in how companies like ours receive money. I could tell you, a lot of eyes were opened when Bitcoin hit 100,000. And I could tell you a hell of a lot more eyes are going to be opened when Bitcoin hits 1 million. And I'm confident it's going to hit 1 million. I have a close friend. He's smart as hell. In fact, there's a friend backstage who do it very well. And 6 months ago, he was coming up to me, Bitcoin is funny money. Crypto is funny money. And I would invest in treasuries. I would invest in ETFs. No, that's how I would invest. And I laughed at him. And every chance I have a chance to remind him, I go, how's your portfolio doing right now? I mean, how's that one working out for you? Coincidentally, the bank that he works for is one of the big 5 banks in the world. They just created a crypto desk. And they're putting hundreds of billions of dollars into cryptos. They're inventing ETFs every single day. Guys, people are slow to adapt to new technologies. And so I know all of you are thinking, Eric, you're from a real estate family. You spent your entire life in real estate, concrete, drywall. Why? You love hard assets. Your family's built monumental wealth, through real estate. You've developed the tallest buildings, in the world. I mean, our concrete buildings, I built Trump Chicago. It was the 7th tallest building in the world when I built it. Our concrete pumps went from Trump Chicago to the Burj Khalifa, and that built that building. I mean, we built the biggest buildings anywhere on earth. We run the best hotels, we run the best golf courses, right? From everywhere from Fifth Avenue to South America, the Middle East, Scotland, Ireland. For our family, real estate's always been the bedrock of wealth creation. It's tangible, it's physical, we love it, you can see it, you can feel it, it has energy. But really, here's the thing, guys, for the first time, there's another asset that has energy. There's another new digital asset that's revolutionary, right? I mean, one that consumes energy, one has life, and one that really has potentially more powerful, potential to be more powerful than anything that we've ever seen before. Guys, I've seen people get canceled for their political beliefs. I've seen people get canceled for their religion. I've seen people get canceled for their culture. I've seen the institutions once trusted around the world, the JP Morgan Chases, the Bank of Americas, the TDs, the biggest banks in the world. And this just isn't in America, this is around the world. I've seen them become total tools of political power and influence. I've seen government regulators walk into banks and say, you know what, I see that you're banking that person, and just understand that we might need to take a little closer look at you if you continue to have them in your portfolio. So why don't you just scoot them out of the way? Guys, I've seen this game. So many people in this room have seen this game. And I think what's more, I've also come to learn and see how antiquated the traditional financial system is around the world. Guys, it's slow as hell. It's inefficient, it's expensive, and generally speaking, it doesn't serve the needs of hundreds of millions of people around the world. People that don't have our balance sheet, people who don't have the Trump last name, people who don't have our assets, people who don't have the advantages that we have as a family, they have no competitive advantage, they have no capital. Individuals around the world have been left behind by the millions. The traditional banking system is rigid, it's vulnerable to manipulation. It's failed the modern world, it's failed to adapt, it's failed to keep up with the modern world, it's failed the needs of the modern world. And guys, really, that's where crypto emerges. I ask this question every single time somebody asks about crypto, but I say, does it make any sense that, a beautiful young couple, they want to go out, they want to get financing for a home. It takes them 90 days, it takes them 120 days to get financing. Does that make any sense whatsoever? By the time they get financing, that home that they wanted to buy, it's gone, it's sold, their dreams are destroyed. How in the world does that make sense? I mean, I can go on my phone right now. I can trade Bitcoin at midnight on a Saturday night while having dinner with my wife. How the hell does it take 120 days to get a loan in developed nations around the world? It doesn't make any sense. The traditional banking system is antiquated. Why do banks work on a 9-to-5 schedule 5 days a week? Does anybody in this room work on a 9-to-5 schedule? No. Bitcoin's not just an investment. It's a global asset. It's a store of values, hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against political turmoil, political instability, acts of gods, hurricanes, fires, floods, tornadoes. Guys, that's what makes it so powerful. There's no CapEx, there's no insurance, there's no mismanagement, there's no corruption, there's no brokers, there's no break rooms, there's no HR, there's no DEI nonsense. There's no need for tens of thousands of bankers and massive skyscrapers all over the world pushing credit applications and antiquated paperwork, charging exorbitant fees. There is nothing that's done in those buildings that can't be done better on blockchain. I've known Michael Saylor for 20 years. I mean, and by the way, if you want to talk about a great champion for this industry, is Michael Saylor. That guy deserves all the credit in the world. There's very few people who are smarter, and there are very few people who are better cheerleaders for an industry that clearly he believes in. He's a national treasure to the United States, and frankly, he's a national treasure to this world. I think I even said to Michael Saylor in the early years, Michael, I don't get this stuff. I mean, I know you love Bitcoin. I don't get it. If I can't feel it, if I can't see it, it's really not for me. But now more than ever before, now after everything I witnessed, having maybe the greatest look behind the curtains of anybody on earth into what the systems truly are, how the systems are manipulated, Bitcoin is actually proving to be the greatest complement to the hard assets our family loves so much. That scarcity, that hard limit, it makes it incredibly valuable, especially as these assets are being purchased in the billions. That's why you see the price skyrocket the way it is. But unlike real estate, Bitcoin's not tied to geography. It's global. It's instantly liquid. Try selling this convention center to a REIT right now. I'll see you in 2 years. Try going out and selling a big office building. It will take you 18 months to do. At the end of it, you're going to want to shoot yourself in frustration. I truly believe in the coming decades that this is going to become the cornerstone of the modern global financial system. It'll be used to safeguard your wealth. And make no mistake about it, guys. We as a family, and my father in office, we're going to lead the charge doing this. We're going to lead the charge in every single way. So my ending message to everybody here is really congratulations, Bitcoin. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to all the people who have made a fortune off of this technology because you saw it early. Our best days are ahead.
It's remarkable, Jim. We see this literally every day we come to work. It's never been quite like this with this kind of pageantry.
No, I was waiting for that because there is an element on the floor here of this is the greatest day of many people's lives. I have to point that out because that's what people are telling me. And I think that, well, why not? Mr. Sprecher speaking. I wish that we had that stick mic.
Yeah, they're talking. We're a little bit away here. We're 2 minutes. We're 2 minutes out from the actual bell.
Earlier than usual.
Yes. Yes.
Well, David, have you noticed that all of the NASDAQ is down today? And we have to mention, I know that this is, that I don't want to short shrift Adobe as being a very disappointing stock. It's moving a lot of companies now.
But Adobe, tell me about the quarter.
AI. The quarter was a miss.
Let's use this moment to, the quarter was a miss. Stock's going to be down.
The forecast was a miss. It was a guide down. You went from double digit to single digit. People don't like that. A lot of negative commentary.
But on the heels of Oracle, people are calling it the second big disappointment.
Exactly. And I go back over with Safra Katz, by the way. Yes, she did sell stock. That's old options and most of it for charity. And I think that Safra Katz, when you read these things, we are seeing some insider selling. It's noticeable. Chewy had big insider selling with a 10% buyback of the sale.
Okay.
It's beginning to see. I want people to keep an eye on the insider selling.
By the way, a little history for the president-elect. This is not his first time in the building by a long shot. He was here actually for the listing of Trump hotels back in 1995. He shot some elements of The Apprentice in this building, Jim, back in 2004.
Well, when I was a judge on The Apprentice, we spent a lot of time talking about the stock market. And I enjoyed my time as a judge. He is so involved with trying to understand wealth creation. That's what we talked about off camera. And I know that there's obviously non-disclosure about being an apprentice judge. But the man is fascinated by the stock market. As fascinated as the current president is not.
He is no longer just a TV star. He's the incoming leader of the free world. He's going to ring the bell here in about 20 seconds. An historic moment at the New York Stock Exchange as we get this opening bell rung by the president-elect, Donald Trump.
What do you have to say to the American investor in this country?
Well, I think you're going to see some very good days ahead. A lot of incentives are going to be given. You saw yesterday a $1 billion investment that we give you very fast approvals. Nobody's come up with that one yet, although it seems pretty simple. I think you're going to have some great days ahead. We have to conclude a couple of bad wars that are going on. A lot of bad things are going on, but we'll get them done.
Do you think that we are in a situation where business will be far more embraced under you than currently?
Well, I don't want to really knock current, but I will tell you more than at any time, anywhere in the history of our country.
Now, we used to speak together about the idea that the averages mattered and were a good barometer of your performance. Is that still the case? Can we go beyond Dow Jones, maybe to NASDAQ?
Well, I think I've always said, to me, stock market is all of it, all of it together. It's very important. It's an honor to be here at New York Stock Exchange. I sort of joked that I actually bought the building across the street because the stock exchange was here. It's a big deal.
40, it's a nice building.
40 Wall Street. So, look, we're going to do things, I think, that haven't been really done before. We're going to be cutting taxes still further. We got it down to 21%. We're going to bring it down even below that. You pay 21 if you don't build here, and meaning your product or whatever it is you're building. And if you do, we're going to try getting it down to 15%. But you have to build your product, make your product in the USA.
And how about every working person who's watching would love to be able to see dividend tax maybe much lower, capital gains much lower?
Well, we're going to be talking about that, and we're really talking about lowering taxes. Last time, as you know, we took it probably from close to 44, 45% down to 21. Everyone said that was impossible. Now, it was always I really wanted to get it down to 15, and we'll be able to do that. And if you remember, we had the best 3 years in the history of our country from the standpoint of the economy. And you've been so professional and so good. I haven't seen you so much since I've been a politician.
Well, thank you, sir. We were together, and I was grateful to be a judge on The Apprentice. We had a great time.
That's right. You were a judge. He was a tough judge. He was a tough judge.
Well, we had to eliminate some people who didn't cut the mustard. You made me a hatchet, man. I respect that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be doing the same thing, I can tell you. This, unfortunately, there's too many of them. But I think we're going to really incentivize the country to go back and work, and they will be incentivized. They're going to do well. People are going to be very happy. JD is very much involved, and I have a great partner right over here with our First Lady. People love our First Lady, and we're going to do something very special. We have some great people up there. You saw some of the people on the cabinet, and we have some of the most successful people in the country, and we're dealing with the most successful people, and those are the people that put others to work. And we're going to be hitting job numbers. And as you probably heard me say, we picked up, since just the election, $3 trillion in, you call it worth or value, but $3 trillion was picked up since November 5th, so that's pretty good.
When President Reagan was here, he talked about putting the bear into hibernation, letting the bull run free. Yeah. Sound like a good motto?
Sounds perfect. I can't do any better than that. That's what we're going to do.
All right. Now, I know we've got some other people here, but I don't see Elon Musk. I was hoping, because he's been a good, let's say a good aid to you on a lot of different things, whether it be crypto or whether it be GLP-1 drugs. I mean, there's a lot of different ideas.
Well, he's got a lot of ideas. He's a great guy. He's a really good guy, too. And I guess his stock has done pretty well. Everybody's stock has done well since the election and even before. And Scott Bessent's done a fantastic job. And one of the things I liked about Scott is that he said long before I even know who he was that the market's only doing well. This is before the election. It's only doing well because they think Trump is going to win. So we made Scott the Treasury Secretary, which everybody frankly wanted. And he's going to do a fantastic job.
Meantime, how about a crypto? Really, we do need, I think, you're embracing crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head. We're going to be ahead of AI. We're going to be way ahead of AI, and we've got to produce tremendous amounts of electricity. You know that. It's unbelievable when you think that we need more than twice what we already have. If you think that's pretty for a specific industry, but we'll be able to do it. We have Lee Zeldin in charge of the environment. He's going to be giving us very strong approvals, I think, and he's going to make sure everything's good and clean and proper, but he's going to give us very fast approvals.
Natural gas makes it so that we should be able to afford it and be able to handle the 5% per year grid. Right. But obviously you think that we need to be able to be the king of AI, which means that we also have to, some people would say, protect Taiwan, because China would like very much to be able to have that technology.
Well, we're going to be having a lot of talks with China. We have a good relationship with China. I have a surprising relationship. Now, when the COVID came in, I sort of cut it off. That was a step too far. That was, as they say, a bridge too far. But we've been talking and discussing with President Xi some things and others, other world leaders, and I think we're going to do very well all around. And we've been abused as a country. We've been badly abused from an economic standpoint, I think, and even militarily. You know, we put up all the money, they put up nothing, and then they abuse us on the economy. And we just can't let that happen. We're not going to be abused anymore. We put America first, but we're also going to help other countries.
Well, I know you've got a ton of things to do, but what can you say to the working person who owns stocks? Should they buy more stock?
Well, I don't want to get into a situation where they do and we have a dip or something, because that can always happen. You know that better than anybody in the world, probably. I think you're the leading authority in going up and going down, but you always end up. He always ends up. That's the good news. But we have, like, Doug Burgum standing right over here has done a fantastic job. He's been on your show many times, and we have just tremendous people. I would say this, I think long term, this is going to be a country like no other. We had the 3 best years ever until COVID came in, and then we did a good job getting rid of it. The stock market, if you look at the markets, were higher than just previous to COVID coming in when we handed it over. And now we know, I know the people, I know the players. When I came in, it was very interesting, Jim. I came in, and I was not a Washington guy. I didn't know too many people in Washington. I had to rely. Now, do I know people? I know people. I know people so much, they're coming out of my ears. So we have great people.
Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, Mark Zuckerberg's been over to see me, and I can tell you Elon is another, and Jeff Bezos is coming up next week. And I want to get ideas from them. Look, we want them to do well. We want everybody, and we want great jobs. Fantastic salaries. We want people to love, and you know, when they wake up in the morning, like, get up, and I love to go to work. I want to go to work. We want people working, and we want them working for a lot of money.
All right, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Good to talk to you again. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get a listen to the President-elect.
Tremendous honor. I brought some of our compatriots along with us. They're going to do a beautiful job for you for the next 4 years, and it's really been something very special. And I have to say, Time Magazine getting this honor for the second time. I think I like it better this time, actually, but we did a good job. We had a great first term, despite a lot of turmoil caused unnecessarily. But the media's tamed down a little bit. They're liking us much better now, I think. If they don't, we'll have to just take them on again, and we don't want to do that. But I do want to thank Time Magazine. I've been on the cover many times. I don't know who has the record, but I can only probably talk well about 25% of the covers. 25% are great. The others I just sort of hide. But it's been an honor, and every time it's an honor, I will tell you. And thank you very much for doing it. And thank the whole group at Time. Really very professional people. Thank you very much. And to Jeff and all of the people from the New York Stock Exchange, he knows how much I like it, because many years ago I bought a building across the street. I wasn't going to buy it. Then I said, you know, it's right next to the New York Stock Exchange. I'm going to buy it. We've had great success. 40 Wall Street, we've had tremendous success with it. But you've really had success with the New York Stock Exchange. It's an incredible group of people. And, Jeff, you have done an incredible job, you and your group. And what a beautiful speech you made. Thank you very much. I was some introduction of all of us. But we've gone up since the election. I was just told by Scott, everybody said, you have to pick Scott Bessent. He has to be the one chosen for Treasury. Where is Scott? Let's see. He's around here someplace. He's around here. He told me we picked up $3 trillion since the election day. And I said, well, that's good, but what about before the election day? He said, we picked up some money there because they thought you were going to win. I said, I like this guy. He's going to be my Treasury Secretary. But it's true. I think we're going to have a tremendous run. We have to straighten out some problems, some big problems in the world. When we left, we didn't have any of these problems. We didn't have Russia with Ukraine. We didn't have Israel October 7th. We didn't have the Afghanistan disaster. We didn't have inflation. We had no inflation. And we had a very strong economy. And we're going to do that again. But I think we're going to even up it, because now we have experience that we didn't have. Now I know everybody. You know, when I first came in, we came down, Melania and I, a great first lady, who's very popular, by the way. She rang in. She rang in the bell. She rang in the bell. But we came down and we're driving down Pennsylvania Avenue, and it was so beautiful. I said, you know, I've never done this before. I didn't know anybody. I got to the Oval Office, and I'm picking all these big positions, and I didn't really know the people in Washington, but boy, did I get to learn fast. And now we do, and I think we have an incredible staff behind me and others that aren't here. And we're going to do a fantastic job. We're going to create the incentive theory again. In fact, I just announced yesterday, I didn't announce it for this reason, but anybody investing $1 billion or more gets a very expedited approval process, because, you know, the approvals, when people come into the country, it takes them, in many cases, 14, 15, 16 years to get the approval. We have Lee is around here someplace. He's in charge of the environment, and that's Lee Zeldin, who ran an incredible race for governor in New York, was a very, very successful guy before that. He was a great congressman, and he's a fantastic lawyer. He's in charge of environmental, and we'll try and push him as much as possible to get those permits very quickly. Like a nuclear power plant, I would say a week would be enough time. What do you think? Is that okay? We're going to get fast approvals, and it's great that we have Lee and all of the people behind. They're all stars in their own way. But it is an honor, and this is a double, because usually they don't coordinate the man of the year or the person of the year with the ringing of the bell. And brilliantly, you picked them both at the same time, and you were all friends, and you said, let's do it. And it takes one trip. It doesn't take two trips. That's okay. We like to save. We like to be able to do it properly. But this is a special group. So many friends in the audience, too. John, great job you've done at ABC. I'm really proud of you, and you've been so nice to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't actually acknowledge you at all. But you have been. That really is. It's a terrific job you've done. But again, I want to thank you. We're going down to ring the bell now, and I could just say that the economy, I believe, is going to be very strong. We do have to solve some problems. We have wars going on that we didn't have. We have a lot of things happening that we didn't have that would have never happened. They would have never happened, but now they have happened. And I want to get them solved. We have to get them solved, because ultimately the power of weaponry today is the biggest threat we have, in my opinion. It's not some of the other things that you read about. It's the power of weaponry. The weapons are so powerful, so devastating. And I rebuilt our military. I got to know every one of them, including nuclear weapons. I hated to do it. Actually, I hated to do it. But we did some nuclear weapons that are so devastating, it almost makes you very sad as you get them and as they come online. It makes you very sad, because you know what the purpose of them is, and you just hope to God that you never have to use them. Because if you do, the world will never be the same. So we have to be very, very smart. We have to be very sharp. We have to be very special to do a job. And I think we'll get it done. And I think we're going to get a lot of people in the room. We've seen it. We were in France, where President Macron did a fantastic job with the cathedral, an absolutely fantastic job, of Notre Dame. And it was beautiful. The opening was the opening, and I just got back, and it was something really beautiful. And a lot of world leaders there. We had about 80 world leaders, different countries, and they were all coming together. They all wanted to meet us and meet me as representative of the U.S., and there was a lot of goodwill. But we're going to get some really tremendous goodwill. I was even thinking about inviting certain people to the inauguration, and some people said, wow, that's a little risky, isn't it? And I said, maybe it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we like to take little chances, but that's not a bad chance. Here's a gentleman that's going to do a great job at HUD. Good luck, my friend, right? He's going to be a he's been my friend for a long time. It's nice to see you. I haven't shaken his hand yet. Come on. Congratulations. Thanks. Really, you're going to be great. And Ben Carson is your biggest fan in the world. You know that. Ben has been with us for a long time and has done a fantastic job. Thank you. Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, go on. We're going to put it straight. We're going to give tremendous incentive like no other country has. We're cutting your taxes. We're going to cut them very substantially. We got them down to 21% from probably 42 or 44%, depending on where you are. And we got them down to 21. Everyone said that was a miracle. Now we're getting them down to 15. But only if you make your product here. Otherwise, you pay 21, which is not bad. It's in the in the middle of the pack, but 15 brings you down to among the lowest. And for those that are running the big companies, those great, big, beautiful companies, nobody's going to be leaving us. You're going to be coming back. You're going to be bringing it back to the United States. We are incentivizing everybody to come back to the United States. We want you back here. Car manufacturers, everybody. And we have one product that nobody has really to the extent that we do. It's called oil and gas. There is no country in the world that has more. We're number one. I brought it to number one during my first term in terms of production. We're going to be number one plus. We'll do numbers that nobody will really see before. And when that happens, prices are going to start coming down because people can't afford their groceries, and they're going to be affording their groceries very soon. I tell the story about a woman who, an old woman, no money, went to a grocery store, had 3 apples. She put them down on the counter, and she looked, and she saw the price, and she said, "Would you excuse me?" And she walked one of the apples back to the refrigerator and came back to pay for the 2 apples. And she left with 2 apples. And the woman at the counter said that was so sad. And when I heard about the story, I said that should never happen in America. And it's not going to happen in America. We're going to do it right. And we're going to take care of our people. And we're going to do things that nobody ever thought even were possible. But we're going to have an economy the likes of which nobody's ever seen before, and everybody's coming back to America. I saw that the other day at the cathedral. They're all saying, we want to come back, we want to come back. And with a couple of changes done by Howard and Scott and some of the great people up here with me, we're going to bring them all back. They're all coming back. So thank you very much. This is a great honor, and ringing the bell will be fantastic. And go out and get them. We're with you all the way. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bitcoiners, how's everybody doing? Are you happy we have a new president in the United States? Please tell me you're happy. I have a guy right here that's wearing a Texas hat, and David Bailey came into dinner last night. He was wearing a Make Bitcoin Great Again hat, so I knew I was in a very good spot, David. So, well, Abu Dhabi, we did it. We did it. We hit 1,000K, which is what everybody wanted, right? So, guys, it's really an honor to be here. And honestly, David, thank you. You guys have been amazing. Tracy, you've been amazing. Tracy literally emails me at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then she calls me at 11 o'clock at night. You want to talk about a person who takes her job seriously. She's amazing. But, David, your entire team is really incredible. And obviously, to all our friends in the UAE, this country is amazing. How many people in here from the UAE? Our family loves you. Our family loves you. You know, I got here for the first time, and I think it was 2009. Have a lot of property, did a great property with DAMAC. You can't look out a hotel window in Dubai without seeing a DAMAC sign. They've been great partners. I'm doing a big hotel in Dubai as we speak. We're doing projects in, obviously, we're about to do one here in Abu Dhabi, which we're super excited about. We're doing projects in Jeddah. We're doing projects in Oman. We're doing projects in Riyadh. We're doing projects all over the region. And I'm going to get myself in trouble for a second, but the UAE is the developer's greatest dream because they never say no to anything. In fact, they always tell you to kind of push the limits, and there's no place that's grown faster. There's no place that's been more fun to work in the UAE. I mean, if you want to build it, if you can dream it up, they allow you to do it. And I have to say, unfortunately, to our Western friends, that's not the case back in the United States. It's not the case in Europe. In fact, most of the time, they're actually very quick to say no. You know that better than anybody. And so it's been so much fun. But sky's the limits here, and you know, I promise soon enough these aspirations are going to really return to American cities. But you know, it's really great to be here, guys. It's really, really great. I believe in Bitcoin. I absolutely love Bitcoin. You know, it's got a very special place in our heart, and I'm very proud that my father stood on stage in Nashville, and he came out and said that he's going to be the Bitcoin president. He's going to be the crypto president. He's going to make America the crypto capital of the world. And that's what it should be. He's going to put in smart regulation. He's going to do all the right things. But I also have to say it's very different for me to be on the stage, right? Over the last 20 years, I've talked about every hospitality topic. I've talked at every hospitality conference. Over the last 10 years, I've fought like hell to make sure he became president of the United States. You probably saw us in every swing state and on every T-Brief program in America. And so you're probably asking, why the hell are you here? Why are you here at a Bitcoin conference? And guys, the reason for that is I really believe that this is the future of finance. And I can say with great pride that now that he's won, you're going to have the most pro-crypto president in the history of America. I can honestly say that America is going to lead the way in the digital revolution. And guys, America has to lead in the digital revolution. And you have a person who was the first president to ever speak at a Bitcoin conference, a first president to ever embrace crypto. And to me, that's very special. It was also really special to me when I called my father last week at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. Does anybody know what happened that day? We hit 100,000. We hit 100,000. And a bunch of the people in this room were blowing me up. They were sending me tweets. And I called my father up and I go, Pops, we just reached the moment that everybody was waiting for. Bitcoin hit 100,000. In true Trump fashion, about 15 seconds later, a tweet popped up. It was, Bitcoiners, congratulations, 100,000. You're welcome. Together, we are going to make America great again. So think, as I said before, think to have an American president for the first time that's committed to making America the crypto capital of the world. Think about a president who isn't going to allow Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to be overregulated and stifled by high taxes. Somebody who will fight like hell against those institutions who have waged war on cryptocurrency. Guys, in America, they've waged war against cryptocurrency. Make no mistake about it. They've sued everybody. They've gone after them using the SEC. They've waged war. They've tried to tax them. A person who pledged to add crypto to the United States Treasury. A person who pledged to make crypto tax-free. I mean, think about all these incredible things. A person who's pledged to fire Gary Gensler. Does anybody like Gary Gensler in here? Gary Gensler waged war against an industry that we all love, and everybody knows it, and instead appoint Paul Atkins, who is an unbelievable ally to this incredible industry. And guys, I'm proud of that because I truly believe. I truly believe. I'm not being paid to be on this stage. I get nothing out of being on this stage. I believe because it's a future. I truly believe that this is the beginning of a financial revolution, not just in America, but truly around the world. I think that Bitcoin is a fundamental shift in the way we think about money, about how we think about wealth, how we think about really the future. It's a way that, as a guy who runs a big real estate company, I think about how I want to safeguard treasury in our company, how I want to invest, how I want to hedge risk, how I want to transfer funds, how I want to pay vendors, right? How I want to collect funds from tenants and people who pay rent and the people who stay at our hotels, our incredible hotel guests and our incredible members, right? I mean, it's a shift in how companies like ours receive money. And I want to be very clear, that revolution isn't coming. That revolution's already here. There's just so many people in the world that truly can't see it. The vast majority of the people can't see it, and that's scary as hell. And I can tell you, a lot of eyes were opened when Bitcoin hit 100,000. And I can tell you a hell of a lot more eyes are going to be opened when Bitcoin hits 1 million. And I'm confident it's going to hit 1 million. I think we're all confident in this room that it's going to hit 1 million. You know, it's really amazing. Email. Everybody has it. It was created in 1970. I'm not sure if anybody knows this, right? It was a precursor to ARPANET. ARPANET was a defense contractor, really a DoD program that we used in the United States. And if you think about it, email didn't gain widespread popularity for another 25 years. This is email. It's something that all of us have. We all have probably multiple accounts, right? Think about text messages. The first text message was sent in 1992. It was December of 1992. It said, "Merry Christmas." Today, you have 23 billion text messages that are sent every day. That's 270,000 text messages that are sent every second. People are slow as hell to adapt to new technology. People are creatures of habit. Yet, everybody in this room sees something that so many people are so blind to. I have a close friend. He's smart as hell. In fact, there's a friend backstage who knew him very well. And 6 months ago, he was coming up to me, "Bitcoin is funny money. Crypto is funny money." And I would invest in treasuries. I would invest in ETFs. You know, that's how I would invest. And I laughed at him. And every chance I have a chance to remind him, I go, how's your portfolio doing right now? I mean, how's that one working out for you? And Coincidentally, the bank that he works for, and it's one of the big 5 banks in the world, they just created a crypto desk. And they're putting hundreds of billions of dollars into cryptos. They're inventing ETFs every single day. Guys, people are slow to adapt to new technologies. And so I know all of you are thinking, Eric, you're from a real estate family. You've spent your entire life in real estate, concrete, drywall. Why? You love hard assets. Your family's built monumental wealth, through real estate. You've developed the tallest buildings, in the world. I mean, our concrete buildings, I built Trump Chicago. It was the 7th tallest building in the world when I built it. Our concrete pumps went from Trump Chicago to the Burj Khalifa, and that built that building. I mean, we've built the biggest buildings anywhere on earth. We run the best hotels. We run the best golf courses, right? From everywhere from Fifth Avenue to South America, the Middle East, Scotland, Ireland. For our family, real estate's always been the bedrock of wealth creation. It's tangible, it's physical, we love it, you can see it, you can feel it, it has energy. But really, here's the thing, guys, for the first time, there's another asset that has energy. There's another new digital asset that's revolutionary, right? I mean, one that consumes energy, one has life, and one that really has potentially more powerful, potential to be more powerful than anything that we've ever seen before. And let me also be honest, had it not been for the viciousness of politics, I mean, you guys certainly saw it if you're from Texas and you're from those places. Guys, they went after us ruthlessly. So the attacks on the family, the attacks on our company, the nastiness of the system, the hell that they put us through for a 10-year period of time. Guys, they made our life miserable. And I see this all over the world. This isn't just the United States, but had it not been for those attacks, I don't think my eyes would have been as open to the crypto industry as they've become. And by the way, I saw you guys go through those same attacks every single day. I saw them come after you. I saw them strip your bank accounts. I saw them cancel you like crazy. The same thing that they were doing to us because we were running for politics is the exact same thing that they were doing to the crypto industry. And so for the first time, it exposed me to a totally different view on life. Not just in America, but also around the world. I mean, guys, I've seen the modern financial system be weaponized. I've seen politics be weaponized. I've seen the legal system in this world be weaponized. And it's one of the reasons that I love crypto. It's one of the reasons I so strongly believe in DeFi. It's one of the reasons we started World Liberty Financial. We've seen the weaponization of the system. We've seen what these people will do. And that's so millions of people could get away from the very financial institutions that were attacking them each and every day. Guys, I've seen people get canceled for their political beliefs. I've seen people get canceled for their religion. I've seen people get canceled for their culture. I've seen wonderful people kicked out of banks because they literally wanted to fly a flag that said, "Make America Great Again," or wear that beautiful red hat that she's wearing right there. I mean, I've seen people lose their accounts for all of them. Guys, I've watched people get kicked off of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram simply because they had contrarian views to things. I've seen institutions once trusted around the world, the JP Morgan Chases, the Bank of Americas, the TDs, the biggest banks in the world. And this just isn't in America, this is around the world. I've seen them become total tools of political power and influence. I've seen government regulators walk into banks and say, "You know what, I see that you're banking that person, and just understand that we might need to take a little closer look at you if you continue to have them in your portfolio. So why don't you just scoot them out of the way?" Guys, I've seen this game. So many people in this room have seen this game. And I think what's more, I've also come to learn and see how antiquated the traditional financing system is around the world. Guys, it's slow as hell. It's inefficient. It's expensive. And generally speaking, it doesn't serve the needs of hundreds of millions of people around the world. People that don't have our balance sheet, people who don't have the Trump last name, people who don't have our assets, people who don't have the advantages that we have as a family. They have no competitive advantage. They have no capital. Individuals around the world have been left behind by the millions. The traditional banking system is rigid. It's vulnerable to manipulation. It's failed the modern world. It's failed to adapt. It's failed to keep up with the modern world. It's failed the needs of the modern world. And guys, really, that's where crypto emerges. You know, I ask this question every single time somebody asks about crypto, but I say, does it make any sense that, you know, a beautiful young couple, they want to go out, they want to get financing for a home. It takes them 90 days. It takes them 120 days to get financing. Does that make any sense whatsoever? By the time they get financing, that home that they wanted to buy, it's gone. It's sold. Their dreams are destroyed. How in the world does that make sense? I mean, I can go on my phone right now. I can trade Bitcoin at midnight on a Saturday night while having dinner with my wife. How the hell does it take 120 days to get a loan in developed nations around the world? It doesn't make any sense. The traditional banking system is antiquated. Why do banks work on a 9-to-5 schedule 5 days a week? Does anybody in this room work on a 9-to-5 schedule? No. How does our modern financial system work that way? You know, does it make any sense that hedge fund managers and private wealth advisors, they're taking 220 splits on funds 3/4 of the time they fail to actually beat the S&P 500, right? They fail to beat basic index funds. You have these private wealth guys that are getting points on your money, and you wonder why they're sitting in the biggest buildings in the world. Their big signs are shining down on streets in every city around the world. How in the world does this make sense? Guys, Bitcoin's not just another asset. It's a solution to all of this. It's a solution because it represents a new financial paradigm. And it's a financial paradigm that's decentralized, it's transparent, it's empowering. It levels the playing field. It allows people to store value. It allows people to transfer value. It allows people to grow their wealth without relying on the very financial system, which, if you want to be honest, has left behind 99% of people in the world. You know, if you're part of the top 1%, the traditional financing system is great. And by the way, it's probably the top 1%, if I'm being generous, in the top 10% of countries in the world. Bitcoin's not just an investment. It's a global asset. It's a store of value. It's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against political turmoil, political instability, acts of gods, hurricanes, fires, floods, tornadoes. Guys, that's what makes it so powerful. There's no CapEx, there's no insurance, there's no mismanagement, there's no corruption, there's no brokers, there's no break rooms, there's no HR, there's no DEI nonsense. There's no need for tens of thousands of bankers and massive skyscrapers all over the world pushing credit applications and antiquated paperwork, you know, charging exorbitant fees. There is nothing that's done in those buildings that can't be done better on blockchain. There's nothing done on those, you know, in those buildings that won't eventually be digitized on blockchain. There's nothing that can't be done faster, cheaper, more transparently, and really better in the new frontier. And guys, there's no question that's why this technology is the greatest disruption to the modern financial system. There's no question that the institutions are petrified. Guys, they're petrified. Why do you think BlackRock, and why do you think Schwab, and why do you think, you know, JP Morgan and Fidelity, why do you think they're buying crypto by the billions? Now, why do you think every major bank in the world is opening up exchanges and launching ETFs and kind of launching into this new frontier? You know, I used to be the guy that said, if I can't hold it, it's not for me. You know, I've known Michael Saylor for 20 years. I mean, and by the way, if you want to talk about a great champion for this industry, it's Michael Saylor. That guy deserves all the credit in the world. There's very few people who are smarter, and there are very few people who are better cheerleaders for an industry that clearly he believes in. He's a national treasure to the United States, and frankly, he's a national treasure to this world. And by the way, just sidetrack, his patience is absolutely remarkable. Has anybody seen that mashup where an interviewer asks him the same question over and over, and he kind of looks down, he sighs? takes a big breath, and then he answers a question that he's answered 100 times. The guy is a remarkable guy. He's an amazing guy, and he's truly a national treasure. But I think I even said to Michael Saylor in the early years, Michael, I don't get this stuff. I mean, I know you love Bitcoin. I don't get it. If I can't feel it, if I can't see it, it's really not for me. But now more than ever before, now after everything I've witnessed, having maybe the greatest look behind the curtains of anybody on earth into what the systems truly are, how the systems are manipulated, Bitcoin is actually proving to be the greatest complement to the hard assets our family loves so much. You know, just like real estate, obviously Bitcoin's scarce. There's only 21 million. I don't need to tell anybody in this room that. You know, name another commodity that's capped. Name another commodity that as prices go up, it's not further exploited. Guys, if gold ever went to $20,000, you'd be tearing down this building. You'd be looking in the concrete pillars over there. You'd be trying to mine gold. You'd be changing the supply dynamics. With Bitcoin, you can't. You know, with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's supply is capped. That scarcity, that hard limit, it makes it incredibly valuable, especially as these assets are being purchased in the billions. That's why you see the price skyrocket the way it is. But unlike real estate, Bitcoin's not tied to geography. It's global. It's instantly liquid. You know, try selling this convention center to a REIT right now. You know, I'll see you in 2 years. Try going out and selling a big office building. You know, it will take you 18 months to do. At the end of it, you're going to want to shoot yourself in frustration. You know, think about the complement to hard assets that Bitcoin is, right? It's instantly liquid. You can buy or sell it while literally having dinner with your wife or your husband or whoever it might be. It's borderless. You know, it can be transferred. It can be sold. It can be, you know, moved with the click of a button. It's a global currency. It doesn't rely on traditional banking systems. It's not subject to the corrupt governments that we talked about before. We see them all over the world. There's corruption everywhere. There's no banks, there's no lawyers, there's no title agencies, there's no brokerage commissions, there's no middlemen. You don't need any of this to operate, to buy, sell. You don't need it to build. And that's why Bitcoin is such an unbelievable asset. Bitcoin and crypto, guys, they truly has the ability to change the world. It has the ability to disrupt traditional banking systems, you know, in the biggest way, which really have been controlled by far too few. And I might be speaking against our own interest. We probably did better in that world than anyone. But Bitcoin is inclusive. It gives everybody the opportunity around the world to participate in ways that they never otherwise would have thought, no matter of their wealth, no matter of their location, the geography. People in developing countries, people who otherwise wouldn't stand a freaking chance. It gives them tremendous opportunity. And people very rarely ever say that about Bitcoin. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a thing that should be celebrated. It's a thing that should be embraced by all. And so really the question is, you know, what does the future hold? You know, what are we going to see? And I think in the next decade, we're going to see Bitcoin, we're going to see crypto. We're going to see it transform the global economy in beautiful ways. We're going to see it transcend borders and institutions. We're going to see that banks have to adapt. We're going to see that governments have to adapt, and governments will adapt. And by the way, those who embrace Bitcoin, those who embrace this digital revolution, those who embrace digital currency, the people who come in early are going to be the people who win. No different than the people who adopted email. No different than the people who embraced SMS. No different than the people who embraced digital photography. Hey, where's Polaroid right now? Does anybody know? They fail to adapt. They're gone. They're no longer relevant. They're no longer present because they didn't see it. I truly believe in the coming decades that this is going to become the cornerstone of the modern global financial system. It'll be used to safeguard your wealth. And make no mistake about it, guys, we as a family, and my father in office, we're going to lead the charge doing this. We're going to lead the charge in every single way. No different than we were one of the first Western brands in the UAE when maybe it wasn't popular, or maybe not even popular. Maybe it wasn't common, right, back in the mid-2000s. You know, we're going to be on the forefront of this innovation. We're going to be on the forefront. And we'll continue to champion Bitcoin. We'll continue to champion blockchain. And we're going to continue to champion technologies that I truly believe will transform this world. And I truly think, guys, we're all going to look back, and we're going to remember this time, and we're going to remember these words, and we're going to remember this place. I'm going to remember making that call to my father at 6 o'clock that morning, last Thursday, saying, hey, we just hit 100,000, and I think by then we're going to be many times greater than that. I think we're all going to pay tremendous homage to Satoshi and to the Michael Saylors. And I think we're also going to remember the people who got it wrong. And there's a lot of people that got it wrong. A lot of really smart people who have done very well for themselves, but a lot of people who couldn't see the forest through the trees. You know, guys, the world's changing in a lot of ways. And the world is going to change in the next 4 years in a lot of ways. And it's certainly going to change for the better in so many ways. And I truly believe that those who recognize that change now are going to be the ones that thrive. So my ending message to everybody here is really congratulations, Bitcoin. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to all the people who have made a fortune off of this technology because you saw it early. Our best days are ahead. And I'm telling you, we're going to have a truly remarkable journey together. So thank you to Abu Dhabi. Thank you to David Bailey. Thank you to Tracy. Thank you to all of you. Our family is going to continue to championship this for a very long time. We're going to continue to be the greatest cheerleaders and the greatest champion. And I can't wait to stand on this stage often. And I can't wait to reflect on these moments. And I can't wait to celebrate a lot of people in this room who get very wealthy because you had the foresight to see a technology in the early days, one before it got mainstream. There's a lot of people in this room that I think are going to do exceptionally well. So, Bitcoiners, I love you. The Trump family loves you, and it's truly a great honor to be here today. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And to my American friends right here, we love you. Thank you all very much. See you later.